How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give him a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from last night, which was August 11th, 2021. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match one, it was The Elite, which are Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, versus Dante Martin and the Seidel brothers, which are Matt and Mike Seidel. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Elite went over because Kenny Omega pinned Dante Martin with the BTE trigger V trigger combination from Matt and Nick Jackson and Kenny Omega. Well, after the match, as all the members of the Elite, which are Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Don Callis, Michael Nakazawa, and Brandon Cutler were all in the ring, Tony Schiavone got in the ring and attempted to interview the Elite and everything. Well, Tony Schiavone was talking about how Dante Martin didn't deserve the beating that he got and everything, and then Don Callis got on the microphone. Don Callis yanked the microphone out of Tony Schiavone's hand, and Don Callis was talking shit towards the fans and saying that Pittsburgh has never seen real champions and everything. And then Christian Cage came out, and Don Callis was talking more shit on the microphone and called Christian Cage a Stanford stooge, and was saying that, and Don Callis was also saying to Christian Cage that he wasn't very bright because there was 10 of them and one of him. Well, the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, got in the ring. The Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, came out, and then Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express got in the ring, and I forgot to say that Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson got in the ring too, so that made 10 of them the Elite. Well, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus got in the ring, and Don Callis was talking. Well, Tony Schiavone was trying to get a word in with Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express, but Don Callis yet again yanked the microphone out of Tony Schiavone's hand. And Don Callis was talking shit towards Christian Cage, but also putting him over in a way at the same time, saying that Christian Cage was a great athlete and everything, and said that he had an awesome finisher, and Kenny Omega couldn't wait to kick out of it and everything. And then Christian Cage, that was Don Callis that was talking shit, by the way. Well, Christian Cage got the microphone and was asking Don Callis, "Are you done, you carny piece of shit?" And then Christian Cage, well, all the Elite got pissed off, and then Christian Cage said, "I take it back. I should have said, are you finished, you carny jagoff." Well, the Elite got pissed off again, and then Christian Cage was saying that, Christian Cage was saying that he spoke with Tony Khan, the president and owner of AEW, and Scott D'Amore, the executive vice president of Impact Wrestling, and yes, the deal between Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage at All Out for the AEW title is locked in. But Christian Cage said, but Kenny Omega, I've noticed you have more than one title. So I spoke to Tony Khan and Scott D'Amore, and Friday night on AEW Rampage, you will be defending, it will be Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the Impact Wrestling title on AEW Rampage. Well, Kenny Omega got pissed off, and then Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express left the ring, and then Kenny Omega was talking shit on the microphone saying, "You can't do this. this is unacceptable and everything. And then, um, and and then Jungle Boy got on the microphone and said, not only will, well, Jungle Boy got on the microphone and was saying, I also spoke to Tony Khan, and next week, Luchasaurus and we will be getting a shot at the AEW Tag Team titles against you two, Matt and Nick Jackson, next week on AEW Dynamite. And Kenny Omega got on the microphone again and was all pissed off and was saying, you can't do this to us, you can't, you can't do this to us, this, that, and the third. And well, Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express left, and then the Elite left and everything, which that was cool. That was match 1, by the way. Match 2, it was Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Darby Allin went over with the coffin drop. But after the match, after the match, 2.0, which are Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, grabbed Darby Allin and were getting ready to beat the shit out of him, but Sting intervened and beat the shit out of 2.0, with punching him and everything. And then Darby Allin got out of the ring and attacked Jeff Parker, tackled Jeff Parker down, was beating the shit out of him, and then Sting was beating the shit out of Matt Lee, and then Sting executed a suplex to Matt Lee on the stage. So Matt Lee was laid out. And then Sting picked Jeff Parker up and punched him in the face and everything, and then Jeff Parker retreated, so Sting and Darby Allin stood tall, which that was cool. That was match 2, by the way. Match 3, it was the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, and Isaiah Cassidy, versus the Best Friends, which are Orange Cassidy, which are wait a minute. Match 3, it was the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, and Isaiah Cassidy, versus the Best Friends, which are Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler Yuta. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Hardy Family Office went over because Matt Hardy pinned Wheeler Yuta with the Twist of Fate. Match 4, that was match 3, by the way. Match 4, it was Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Chris Statlander went over with the 450 splash. Match 5, it was the Good Brothers, which are Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, versus the Dark Order, which are Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, for the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Good Brothers went over and retained the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles, cause Carl Anderson pinned Stu Grayson with the Magic Killer from Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. That was match 5, by the way. And match 6, which was the main event, it was Chris Jericho versus Wardlow. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Chris Jericho went over with the Judas Effect. Well, after the match, Shawn Spears attacked Chris Jericho from behind. Well, Shawn Spears came out and attacked Chris Jericho from behind and was beating the shit out of him. Well, Sammy Guevara came along in the ring and tackled Shawn Spears down, was beating the shit out of him. But then Wardlow grabbed Sammy Guevara and was beating the shit out of him. And then, while Wardlow was beating the shit out of Sammy Guevara, MJF came in the ring and executed the Salt of the Earth to Chris Jericho, and then Jake Hager came out, and as Jake Hager came out, MJF, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears retreated, and Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara stood tall in the ring, while MJF, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears were on stage. Well, MJF got on the microphone and was saying, Chris, you got your match against me, but you haven't heard my stipulations yet. The stipulations for your match against me: there will be no Judas effect, and there will be no Judas song. So you'll come out of here in nothing but silence, and these morons won't be singing along to your stupid song. And if you hit the Judas effect on me, I will automatically win and everything. Which, that was cool. Now, besides the matches, MJF and Wardlow cut a promo, and MJF was talking about how Chris Jericho has been through hell and back with all these labors, but every time he's stepped in the ring in these labors, he's followed every stipulation, and he's won every match, but he won't get past Wardlow. He'll be at the finish line and won't get past Wardlow and won't get his match with him, because Wardlow is going to do nothing but destroy him and everything. And then Wardlow was saying that he was going to destroy Chris Jericho and everything, and then MJF was saying, yeah, like how you beat Cody Rhodes in the steel cage. And then MJF told Wardlow to get the job done and left. And Wardlow got all pissed off, looked on pissed off. That was cool. Malachi Black cut a promo talking about how he proved what he said he was going to do by making his match with Cody Rhodes fast, quick, and easy, which he done, and was saying that Cody Rhodes has one foot in the grave, but he was going to put both feet in the grave and put Cody Rhodes in the grave in general. And Malachi Black was also saying that Cody Rhodes is lonely because he surrounds himself with people who make him feel that way. Well, Malachi Black himself was saying that he's lonely because he chooses to live in solitude. And then Malachi Black was also saying that he'll appear on AEW television whenever he feels like it and everything. And then Malachi Black was also saying that next time he gets in the ring with someone, then he's gonna beat him so bad that they're gonna end up talking to God and everything. That was cool. Miro cut a promo saying how Lee Johnson challenged him last week, and he forgave him for the beatdown and everything. And then Miro was talking about how he serves God and pleases his wife on a daily, and was also saying that Friday night on AEW Rampage, he has a match again. Well, Miro issued a challenge to anybody in the AEW locker room for his AEW TNT title, and on Friday night on AEW Rampage, he was going to be facing Fuego del Sol with his AEW TNT title on the line, and if Fuego del Sol wins, he gets a contract for AEW and everything. And Miro was also saying that he was going to destroy Fuego del Sol and retain the AEW TNT title and everything, which that was cool. The Death Triangle, which are Pac, Penta El Cerro Miedo, Rey Fenix, and Alex Abrahantes, cut a promo, and Rey Fenix was telling Pac that he wanted dibs on beating the shit out of Andrade El Idolo and everything. And then Penta El Cerro Miedo also said something about wanting dibs on facing Andrade El Idolo and beating the shit out of him, then started talking in Spanish. Well, Alex Abrahantes stopped Penta El Cerro Miedo and was saying that Penta says, but then Pac was saying to Alex Abrahantes, I got it. And then Pac was also saying that, well, Pac was also telling Pinel, Sarah Miedo, and Ray Phoenix, I got Andrade El Idolo. Pac was telling Ray Phoenix and Pinel, Sarah Miedo to not worry about Andrade El Idolo, to worry about the AEW Tag Team titles. And Pac himself will worry about Andrade El Idolo. And then Pac was also saying that he wanted to fight Andrade that if Andrade El Idolo wanted to fight him, that he was not hard to find, and that he would do it anywhere, anytime, any place, and everything. That was cool. Dasha Gonzalez interviewed Andrade El Idolo and Chavo Guerrero Jr. along with Andrade El Idolo's personal assistant. Well, Dasha Gonzalez was asking Andrade El Idolo, was pretty much telling Andrade El Idolo that there were some harsh words from the Death Triangle about him and everything, and what was his take on it and everything. And then Andrade El Idolo was saying that Pac was ungrateful and everything. And then Chavo Guerrero Jr. was saying that Pac was ungrateful because Andrade El Idolo has showed him nothing but respect, because he's offered him free airfare, free limousines, and free champagne, and this is the respect he gets. And then Andrade El Idolo was saying that he was the boss, and then Chavo Guerrero Jr. was saying, yeah, Andrade, you are the boss. So how about we do it like this? Andrade El Idolo versus Pac at All Out, and Andrade El Idolo will show you, Pac, who the real boss is and everything. That was cool. Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, cut a promo, and Ortiz was talking about how they've been through war and everything, and then Santana was talking about how where they came from, if an injury happened, they were taught to bandage it up and everything. And then Santana and Ortiz were talking about how they wanted FTR, how if FTR wanted to fight them, FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, wanted to fight them, that they were right here and they would fight them, because this war is far from over and everything. That was cool. The Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson and Brandon Cutler, cut a promo, and Matt Jackson was talking about how him and Nick Jackson are the best tag team in the world, and how they're the EVPs, extremely violent people and everything. And Matt Jackson was also talking about how they ended Hangman Page once and for all, and was talking about how him and Nick Jackson were going to beat the Jurassic Express next week and retain the AEW Tag Team titles and everything. And then Nick Jackson was talking shit and was getting ready to shoot the basketball hoop. And but before Nick Jackson got the chance to do it, Luchasaurus came along and shoulder tackled Nick Jackson down, and then Matt Jackson tried to attack Luchasaurus, but Luchasaurus tackled Matt Jackson down, and then Jungle Boy took the basketball and shot in the basketball hoop and everything. And then Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus left, and then then the Young Bucks got all pissed off, and Brandon Cutler was egging it on, and the Young Bucks got pissed off at Brandon Cutler and everything. That was cool. AEW aired a video package of the build-up of the match between Britt Baker versus Red Velvet for the AEW Women's title Friday night on AEW Rampage. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Britt Baker, and Tony Schiavone was pretty much talking to Britt Baker about how she's over with the crowd in Pittsburgh, and what's all going to happen with her match against Red Velvet at AEW Rampage on Friday night for the AEW Women's title and everything. And then Britt Baker was talking about how Red Velvet was fearless, she would give her that, but Britt Baker herself has carried AEW on her back since day one, and that AEW should be thankful that she's now the AEW Women's Champion, and that AEW needed a new Women's Champion, and they got one with her and everything. And then Britt Baker was talking about how Red Velvet is going to get her ass beat in her home state of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and said she'd kick her ass any day, anytime, anywhere, and everything. And then Red Velvet came out, and Tony Schiavone got out of the ring, and then Red Velvet tackled Britt Baker down and beat the shit out of her. Then Britt Baker got a little bit of offense, and then the referees, which are Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, and Aubrey Edwards, came out to break it up and everything. That was cool. Team Taz, which are Taz, Ricky Starks, and Hook, cut a promo. Wait a minute. Team Taz, which are Taz, Ricky Starks, and Hook, and Brian Cage cut a promo, and Ricky Starks was talking about how a couple weeks ago on AEW Dynamite, he did a hit and miss on Brian Cage. Well, Brian Cage was saying it wasn't no hit or miss, you were running from me and everything. And then Ricky Starks was saying, next week, Brian Cage on AEW Dynamite, I want to have a confrontation with you, and I want you face to face. There'll be no Taz, no Powerhouse Hobbs, and no Hook. Just me and you, face to face, man to man. And Brian Cage was saying that he didn't believe that. He said Brian Cage was saying, Ricky, I don't believe you, because every time your mouth goes to moving, you're lying. But you want me face to face, man to man next week? You got it, because I'm not a man, I'm a machine. Which that was cool. Camille cut a promo and was saying that that on NWA Empower, she's going to be facing off against Layla Hirsch for the NWA Women's title. And Camille was talking about how Layla Hirsch was talented in her own way and was a powerhouse and everything, but that didn't matter to her because she was going to take Layla Hirsch out once and for all and retain the NWA Women's title at NWA Empower and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed The Factory, which are QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, and Nick Comoroto. Well, Nick Comoroto stayed out of the ring, and QT Marshall and Aaron Solo were in the ring with Tony Schiavone, and Tony Schiavone was talking about, well, Tony Schiavone was saying to QT Marshall, let's just go ahead and get this apology over with. Well, QT Marshall took the microphone away from Tony Schiavone, and QT Marshall was saying that he didn't say that Tony Schiavone had this all twisted, that he wasn't going to, he said he wasn't going to apologize to Tony Schiavone. He was just but there was an apology going to be happening, and QT Marshall was saying to Tony Schiavone, you're going to be the one to apologize, not me. And QT Marshall told Tony Schiavone to apologize. Tony Schiavone refused. Well, QT Marshall was saying, Tony, I'm not going to apologize to you for pouring that protein shake on your head a couple weeks ago, but I want to ask, your son Christian Schiavone there in the crowd, he's wanting to be a wrestler, isn't he? Tony Schiavone said, yes, he is. Well, QT Marshall said, well, I'm going to apologize for this. And then QT Marshall had Nick Comoroto get Christian Schiavone, the son of Tony Schiavone, out of the crowd. So Nick Comoroto got Christian Schiavone out of the crowd and threw him in the ring. And Nick Comoroto got in the ring, and Nick Comoroto held Tony Schiavone down, and QT Marshall QT Marshall punched Christian Schiavone in the stomach. Well, Aaron Solo held Christian Schiavone down, and Nick Comoroto held Tony Schiavone back. Well, QT Marshall punched Christian Schiavone in the stomach, and QT Marshall demanded Tony Schiavone to apologize, and then Tony Schiavone said, okay, I'm sorry for everything, you son of a bitch. And QT Marshall told Tony Schiavone, Tony, apology not accepted. Well, QT Marshall executed the diamond cutter to Christian Schiavone, laying him out, and then Paul White came out to the ring, and as Paul White got into the ring, QT Marshall shoved Aaron Solo into Paul White, and QT Marshall and Nick Comoroto got out of the ring while Tony Schiavone was tending to his son Christian Schiavone. And after QT Marshall and Nick Comoroto got out of the ring, Paul White executed the choke slam to Aaron Solo, laying him out. But Paul White was staring QT Marshall down and everything while QT Marshall and Nick Comoroto were out of the ring. And Paul White was standing tall in the ring. That was cool. But besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. Don Callis done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur during the match between the Elite versus Dante Martin and the Seidel brothers. Don Callis done great on guest commentary, and Scott D'Amore done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur during the match between the Good Brothers versus the Dark Order for the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles. Scott D'Amore done great on guest commentary. The referees for the event were Brian Hebner, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Rick Knox refereed the match between the Elite versus Dante Martin and the Seidel brothers. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Darby Allin versus Daniel Garcia. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between the Hardy Family Office versus the Best Friends. Paul Turner refereed the match between Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose. Brian Hebner refereed the match between the Good Brothers versus the Dark Order for the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles. And Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Chris Jericho versus Wardlow. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced so far, well, the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite that's been announced for next week on All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite, it's going to be the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, versus the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, for the AEW Tag Team titles. Shawn Spears versus Sammy Guevara, plus Sammy Guevara will have a major announcement following the match. And wait a minute, hold on. The match card for next week's All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite, it's going to be the Young Bucks Wait a minute. The match card for next week's All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite, it's going to be the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, versus the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, for the AEW Tag Team titles. Sting and Darby Allin versus 2.0, which are Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, in a Texas Tornado Tag Team match. Chris Jericho versus MJF, and the stipulation is Chris Jericho cannot use the Judas effect nor come out to Judas by Fozzy. And Shawn Spears versus Sammy Guevara. Plus, Sammy Guevara will have a major announcement after the match. So the match card for next week's All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it and everything. And the match card that's been announced for tomorrow night's episode of All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage, it's going to be Miro versus Fuego del Sol for the AEW TNT title. And the other stipulation to the match is if Fuego del Sol wins, he gets a contract to work in AEW. Britt Baker versus Red Velvet for the AEW Women's title. And Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the Impact Wrestling title. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage tomorrow night looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to watch it because it's going to be the debut episode. Well, anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from last night, which was August 11th, 2021. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.